This video is sponsored by Brilliant, but more on that at the end of the video. Sometime later this summer, the first ever in-space manufacturing satellite will take off from the UK. Its mission, not yet to manufacture a colony in space, but rather to build materials that would be almost impossible to manufacture on Earth. The startup, based out of Bristol, UK and Wales, is Spaceforge. Their vision is to harness the power of space to manufacture high-performance products in the microgravity of space on board a satellite that returns back to Earth so the materials can be collected before being retrofit and sent back out into space. They hope to do all this while decreasing the net energy consumption and carbon dioxide emissions usually associated with producing products such as semiconductors, pharmaceuticals, or even space diamonds. Let's take a deeper look at the space manufacturing revolution. Hi, I'm Dr. Ben Miles. On this channel, we look at breakthroughs improving the world of tomorrow. Support my work by leaving a like or subscribing, but let's dive into the world of space manufacture. The permanent microgravity only found in space could enable billions of new alloys and materials to be made that were previously out of the reach of humanity. By bringing these alloys back to Earth, it could revolutionize sectors such as renewable energy, transportation, and the computing industry. Spaceforge classifies themselves as an in-space manufacturing company and are developing the world's first returnable and relaunchable satellite factory. By transforming humanity's return from space capability, Spaceforge aims to deliver revolutionary experiments and products for the benefit of humanity. And investors believe in that dream. In December of 2021, the company secured $7.6 million in seed funding, making it one of the fastest growing space startups in the world. Their Forge Star platform, their first manufacturing satellite, is designed for a range of experiments and manufacturing processes to create materials off Earth leveraging microgravity in the production of semiconductors and new pharmaceuticals. Each satellite will be launched by a commercial launch partner like Virgin Galactic or SpaceX and will consist of an orbital module and a microgravity capsule. For a period of 1 to 6 months, Forge Star will operate at an altitude of 300 miles, manufacturing products before returning from space to deliver these materials. It will then be refurbished and retrofit to return to service on orbit. But why space? Why can manufacturing in space unlock new materials? In high-performance material manufacture, there are 3 areas where on-Earth manufacture really holds us back. Number 1 is gravity. Gravity causes buoyancy, where less dense materials float on more dense materials, which prevents the creation of perfect alloys or perfect mixing in metals of different densities. In an extreme and maybe unlikely example, imagine you were trying to make an alloy out of lead and aluminium. On Earth, no matter how well you mix these materials, to some extent, as the material set and settled, the dense lead would be sinking to the bottom, while the less dense aluminium would be rising to the top, creating a density gradient across the material. On the surface level, that might not sound like a huge problem, but in high performance materials for electronics or superconductors, this might mean the resistance can only ever be reduced so far, so the materials, if used in power generation on Earth, would be less efficient, requiring more energy to run and ultimately producing more CO2. The microgravity found in space prevents buoyancy, allowing for larger, perfect crystal formation and uniform alloy mixing, important both in semiconductors for ultimately producing better performing materials that save CO2, but equally in pharmaceutical production to make sure that you get evenly mixed doses of medicine, rather than particularly potent dose or one with no active ingredient at all. Number 2, atmosphere. A similar problem arises from our atmosphere on Earth. The dense ambient atmosphere contaminates even the cleanest of processes. In a hypothetical example for something like chemical vapor deposition or CVD, a material such as diamond or graphene that can be used in high power electronics or batteries is grown in a lab, deposited layer by layer by heating up carbon in a vacuum chamber, causing carbon atoms to float away and flowing them over a cooler surface, allowing the carbon atoms to deposit atom by atom, making a perfect crystal structure of diamond or graphene. On Earth, this is done by pulling a very high vacuum to keep out most, but not all contaminants, and is pretty energy intensive to do. Making use of the natural vacuum of space, which is about 10 trillion times lower pressure than Earth, removes contamination and the need for multi-stage pumps to perform these processes, and ultimately could reduce the net cost required to produce these products. Space manufacture also benefits from extreme temperatures. From the cryogenic refrigerator temperatures when shadowed from the sun's heat by the Earth, to the furnace-like temperatures when directly exposed to the sun. These temperature extremes streams are difficult or at least expensive to create and maintain on Earth. In space, you get them for free. A radiator facing the cold of space could freely produce temperatures close to absolute zero for superconductor or quantum devices. For our previous example of chemical vapor deposition, the side of the satellite that faces the sun is usually several hundred degrees hotter than the side that faces the cold vacuum of space. By having the carbon heating process on the sun side and the deposition of carbon atoms on the colder side, this process could be performed with significantly lower energy requirements. The end goal of viable space manufacture is the production of a purity of materials that can only be accessed by manufacture in space. But why does it matter? The thermal conductivity of diamond is about 5 times higher than copper. Within semiconductor manufacture, it could be used to prevent the overheating of silicon and other semiconductor materials, the cooling for which usually accounts for about 50% of the energy used to power those electronics, and so 50% of the carbon emissions. If synthetic diamond was cheaper and easier to produce, it could be used more extensively, reducing energy bills and reducing emitted CO2. Diamonds produced in space, or space diamonds, would be higher purity, so better thermal conductors, cheaper to produce, and maybe the key in economically rolling out this technology. Though of course, we'll have to wait and see the data of what Spaceforge can produce and at what cost it can produce it. The satellites will be engineered with the planet in mind too, the first ever reusable satellites that can be refurbished and launched again, rather than burning up in the atmosphere. Joshua Weston and Andrew Bacon are the co-founders of Spaceforge. They've been working on this technology for about 5 years, but things have become more serious in the past couple of years. This summer's launch, with the date still to be determined, will see Spaceforge hitch a ride on board Virgin Orbit's inaugural UK flight, taking off from Spaceport Cornwall at Newquay Airport, in what is set to be the UK's first satellite launch in history. Virgin's modified 747 Cosmic Girl will take off horizontally from Cornwall before the Launcher 1 rocket is released from the aircraft's left wing at an altitude of about 10 kilometers, taking Starforge 0 and several other CubeSat payloads into space. Once in orbit, ForgeStar 0 will begin validation of its in-space manufacturing capability. As this prototype is just testing the manufacturing process and not the re-entry technology, it won't be fitted with a re-entry thruster, and so won't be designed to survive re-entry. It will, however, validate on-orbit manufacturing capabilities, which is the key new area of exploration and technology uncertainty. Ultimately, Spaceforge is aiming to launch and return dozens of satellites each year. Returning this number of satellites safely to Earth brings with it its own issues, however. CubeSats, small satellites, are not generally designed to survive re-entry, and even tracking them as they descend can be inordinately tricky. We generally have a good idea as to what's happening in our atmosphere up to about 40 kilometers and from around 400 kilometers upwards. In between is too high for balloons or aircrafts to reach and give us information, and too low for satellites to operate in, making it something of a black box that we only gain understanding and knowledge from as something is traveling through it. When Spaceforge first approached this tracking problem, they assumed that there would be some off-the-shelf software that could help them overcome this re-entry problem. However, when discovering there wasn't, the company set about developing their own, known as Ether. The cloud-based platform will be continuously refined as Spaceforge completes more and more missions, with each re-entry adding to a growing bank of knowledge that will make recovering the fleet of Forge stars safer, easier, and cheaper. Spaceforge's emergence has also coincided, slightly serendipitously, with a boom in UK launch capability. Alongside plans in Cornwall, there are 6 further spaceports around the UK currently coming into commission. If successful, the successor to Starforge 0 will be Starforge 1, and is due to fly in 2023. That spacecraft will be 4 times the size of Starforge 0, and is planned to successfully re-enter Earth's atmosphere and land safely off the UK coast. ForgeStar 2 will be even bigger again, set to launch in 2024, and will be Spaceforge's first commercial launch where the value of the materials manufactured in space will exceed the cost of placing the satellite in orbit. Using a fleet of reusable ForgeStar satellites, the medium to long-term plan is to launch dozens of flights per year, and to do this, the team is trying to be launch agnostic. Whoever has the best price and the best schedule will win their service. In the space industry, you never want to be reliant on a single launcher, as OneWeb found out with the Soyuz, a scrapped mission with stranded satellites resulting from Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Spaceforge has secured funding from VCs, Innovate UK, Bristol Private Equity, and additional funds by the Development Bank of Wales, and are starting now to work with European and international partners. But they are very focused on doing as much as possible within the UK to reduce carbon footprints, and are hoping to create a launch, refurbish, and return satellite service all within the UK. As we push our innovation capability to the limit, if you find yourself eager to get involved or just to better understand the scientific topics we talk about on this channel, I'd recommend today's sponsor, Brilliant. Brilliant's hands-on lessons in math, science, and computer science help you to develop a physical intuition about how a system works. Throughout high school, my undergraduate, master's, and my PhD, so much of my learning was focused on physically understanding a system. I would spend countless hours looking for widgets on the internet or building my own that would let me simulate something I was trying to understand. Brilliant does that interactive element for you, and it lets you focus then on understanding the topic, meaning that you aren't just memorizing equations, you are playing with ideas and seeing what happens, creating a much deeper understanding. They've got courses on everything from quantum mechanics to the fundamentals of computer science. I'd recommend a class just released by Real Engineering, all about the mechanics of getting an object to space and then keeping it there. It explores some of the ideas that are currently being implemented to launch satellites by throwing them into space, like the startup Spin Launch are actually trying to do at the moment. If you want to take the lead in defining the technologies of the future, your science and technology intuition will help you solve problems other people can't. Start for free and join the millions of people already learning on Brilliant with a special offer just for listeners. Head to brilliant.org/Dr. Ben Miles to start with Brilliant's interactive lessons. The first 200 listeners will also get 20% off on their annual membership. Thank you, Brilliant, for being our first ever sponsor on the channel, and thank you for helping to create the next generation of problem solvers. Space manufacturing may very well be the next big manufacturing rush, bringing huge technology leaps as well as new ways to combat CO2 emissions. But just remember, diamonds are forever, but space diamonds just might save the planet. The other thing you can do to save the planet is like and subscribe to support more content like this. Any proceeds we make directly supports our work helping scientists to turn their scientific breakthroughs into world-changing technologies. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.